Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Nintendo Rewind. My name's Cody Christian, and I'm joined by my co-host, my lovely, eventually I'll figure out which side he's on, my lovely co-host with the beautiful green eyes, Chris Becker. We are rewinding and recapping last week for Nintendo, but before we dive into any of that, let's talk about how Chris's week's been. Tell me about your week, tell me about your adventures, what kind of snacks did you get, what kind of games did you play, what kind of life did you live?
Lived quite the life. Adventured a bit. What kind of snacks did I get?
There have to be some good snacks. Did you go get that Snickers you were talking about on your stream the other day?
I did get a Snickers, yeah. But we were talking about it. I was like, oh man, I kind of want a Snickers. So I went and got one.
You made me have the same craving because like literally after your stream, I kept thinking about it, and 4 days later, I went and bought a Snickers.
You're welcome, Snickers Company.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
But if you want to be, we won't shy away from fun-sized Snickers for the rest of our lives. You know, come on, sponsor us.
But yeah, we're still on that kick where I'm eating I'll get like a big bag of the Reese's peanut butter cups, put them in the freezer, and then just take one out every night and just have one.
I dig that. I like that too. I'm kind of with you. I like a good frozen Reese's.
Very good. Much better than, I don't know what I was thinking, but I think I like them better frozen now than room temperature. How about you? How was your week? Anything fun and exciting happen with you?
It was good. It was really, really busy. Like crazy busy this past week. We made some content for the YouTube channel. Some different kind of content. Usually you guys only see the like actual podcast stuff get put on there, but we have a couple of videos up over there, did some shorts, played a lot of Fortnite, ate some Snickers because you got me craving them, and then you know, for the most part, like it was a good kind of busy because there was a lot going on with Courtney's business, with just life in general, but overall, like, it's been enjoyable. I played a lot of Echoes of Wisdom this past week, had a really, really good time with that. Played a little bit of Marvel Snap. That's got a new season that started today. They've got Venom season or Symbiote season.
I saw that.
I'm excited for that season. I do a lot of Marvel Snap in my off time, so like that's kind of like my go-to like idle game. And have a really good time with that. Although I'm holding off on doing the season pass this season until I see what Agent Venom does for that game, because like Agent Venom, he sets all your cards to a power of 4, and I don't know if I want that in a deck just yet. Like I kind of want to wait and see if I have something that's really going to shake up the meta over there. So like it's been good though. It's been good. It's just been busy. So but that's pretty much all I've been playing. We've been watching Agatha all along, the new series from Marvel. It just started, and it was the first 2 episodes premiered not last week, but the week before that. We watched those, and then we were like counting down the days for the next episode to come out. Came out this past Wednesday, new episode tomorrow. I'm super stoked. That series is actually really good. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. And like Marvel's been like hit or miss for a lot of people lately, but like honestly, I must be like super easy to please because the whole like everything, I like it all. I like it all.
Yeah. I think I watched the first episode, didn't watch anything else yet. I don't like waiting in between episodes. I like to be able to watch it when it's out. So I'm waiting for it to all come out. I'll probably watch it. I haven't really felt like watching anything. But I think I will watch all of that once it comes out. The only thing I saw about the show was, I don't even know, some spoiler came out because a Funko Pop or something. I don't know. But yes.
Oh, yeah. So for anyone who might be following that news, there's theories about who Aubrey Plaza's character actually is, because they introduce her as Rio Vidal. Also known like in the Marvel stuff as the Green Witch. Blackheart is another name for her, but like some Funko Pop news came out that said like Rio Vidal is maybe not Rio Vidal. So like I'm down for it. I don't mind spoilers, but I don't want to spoil it for everybody else. So you guys just kind of do your thing and avoid that kind of news. But like I don't know. Like I'm with you on the not wanting to wait. Courtney and I, we don't really like binge from the moment that it's out until the moment that it's let me hang on. Bring it back. We don't usually like binge it all in one sitting. If we have a full series that's out, we'll watch 1, maybe 2 episodes a night, and that's what I like to do. But honestly, like with the new stuff, with the new Marvel stuff, I don't mind like trying to follow it and keep up with it on a week-to-week basis. You just finished Only Murders in the Building, though, so like you're caught up and having to wait week to week now again, aren't you?
All caught up, and then been watching, because I've been watching them with my dad, and we got all caught up. And the new episode came out today, but he was sick, so as soon as he got home from work, he just went to bed.
Oh no! So now you have to wait even longer.
Tomorrow, yeah, we'll
just shake the man awake, Dad. Let's watch this. Oh man, but no, it's been good. It's been good. Reading a few comics. They got a Blood Hunt tie-in going on over in the Marvel Comics, actual comics stuff going on, and I've been waiting for issues of that to hit Marvel Unlimited because I cannot afford to go and buy all the comics I want to read on release day, so I just pay the subscription fee so I can just watch that as it comes out 3 to 6 months later. So it's a little frustrating having to do that wait, but you know, it is what it is. But no, that's been kind of the big stuff this past week. A lot of Marvel stuff, enjoying the crap out of it. You're eating some Snickers and enjoying some Grun, or whatever that game was called that you were playing. What was that game? Grun? That game looks cool.
It is out on Steam. I believe they said that they want to bring it out on the Switch, and you're just a gardener, but then there's like all this weird stuff happening. And for some reason, it wasn't performing well on my computer. I couldn't figure out why, and then it turns out, it was trying to like pump it out at 4K because I had a 4K monitor, and the game itself wouldn't let me switch to 1080p or 720p. It forced me at.
Well, that's what the
1080.
settings were in there. It was like forced 1080 when you were checking the settings to figure out why it was doing the slowdown that it was doing. So, like, I was like, what is going on? I can't believe it was trying to still do forced output of 4K at 1080p.
Yeah, it was trying to do it. I don't know why. Not a fan. But so I got the new monitor hooked up, or not the new, just the other monitor, because I hadn't got both monitors hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that one hooked up right before we started. I'm gonna try that out some more. This is like my first time playing with I'm still getting used to playing a game with a keyboard and mouse. But you know,
old
not
man
everything
alert.
can beat Mario Paint.
Old man alert.
Yeah, who's got that? You know, it's like I don't use motion controls on.
Dude, screw gyro. I can't do that either. Get out of here.
And I don't use keyboard and mouse until I guess today when I played it.
It's probably why I get owned all the time whenever I'm doing Splatoon. Everybody's gotten used to gyro, and I'm over here with my 2 sticks trying to like do the thing like an old person. It's almost like
that's what you got to do when you're
typing.
Playing on the Switch. Fortnite.
Yeah.
They got it now.
Yeah, they do got it. It's so crazy. Well, listen, guys, I do want to jump into the topic today. We're going to be talking a little bit about, and not even a little bit, like the whole topic pretty much is about the last year of the Wii U versus the last year of the Nintendo Switch, because hopefully, fingers crossed, we're in that final stretch. I hope we don't have a whole other year of Nintendo Switch 2 rumors ahead of us. You know, it probably would be the case for all we know. But before we dive into comparing those two end of lifers there, we do want to make sure that we thank the people who are supporting the show. We've got Shiny Bird, we've got Calamity Nolan, we've got Sierra Christian. Thank you guys so much for all your gracious support. You know, just to let you guys know, if you'd like to directly support our content and guide what we're discussing and get exclusive videos that won't be uploaded to our YouTube channel, you can sign up to become a member. Plus, you get merch discounts, and every dollar spent on our merch also helps us continue to produce the show. There's even a tier that only costs $1 a month, and with it, you'll get a shout out. That said, thank you guys so freaking much for your support over the past few months. Now, we're going to get back into the show. Wii U versus Switch. The final year, man, like we are. This past year has been kind of crazy, filled with a good mix of games, in my opinion, for the Nintendo Switch. And it's everything from puzzle platformers to visual novels, all the way to turn-based RPGs. Like, you're getting a good mix of everything. But when we look back at the last year as a whole, we kind of got to walk away and think, hey, maybe this year wasn't the greatest year in gaming. That was reserved specifically for 2017, in my opinion. But, Chris, how are you feeling about this previous year for the Nintendo Switch? And obviously, we're going to dive into it a little more deeply, but I'm curious about what you think.
Well, I guess my feelings on the matter could be best summed up in the form of a limerick. I wrote a limerick here. No, I did not.
Oh, man, I was so ready.
No, I did not.
There once was a console with poo. That did not get Super Mario Odyssey 2.
There you go. That's good. No, but I was trying to figure out like what I thought of it based on like what there was, and I think I didn't think, I was like, man, there's a lot of just nothing but remasters. But then looking back, there's about like just as many not remasters as there are remasters this year with we got Mario and Luigi. They got the Paper Mario coming out soon, and then we just got Echoes of Wisdom. But then the stuff that we did get, Princess Peach, never want to play that again.
I mean,
Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I played the demo. That was more than enough. Yeah, I just I learned Luigi's Mansion 2 might not be as good as I remembered it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
At least we got the 1,000-year door.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of with you. Is like it's been half and half, remasters versus like original content. But the thing that I focus on the most is that like the remasters almost entirely all the way across the board, the remasters entirely performed better critically than the original content that we got. And it's like, what happened, Nintendo? It's like, what happened for real? So I'm with you. Is like, the remasters were cool to kind of get a good look back again, but like for the most part, like the original content, Prince Peach Showtime, like rest her soul, like that game was not the greatest game that I'd ever played. Echoes of Wisdom has been pretty darn good. Mario and Luigi Brothership, it's my most looked forward to game that they still have on the horizon that I think is going to do extremely well. I hope it does extremely well, but it's the one game on the horizon that I think is going to do extremely well, because we have Super Mario Party Jamboree. I mean, that's going to do okay, but Mario Party games don't typically review super high. Mario and Luigi Brothership in November. And then Donkey Kong Country Returns HD in January, but we don't have any idea on that. And I can already tell you that game, it performed well when it originally launched, but it didn't like blow the records away. It wasn't a 100 out of 100 Metacritic score. So I don't know. But we do need to kind of talk a little bit about the Wii U. Chris, did you own a Wii U?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I got it on day one.
Well, of course, a man whose name is Super Nintendo Dad, he should have a Wii U. I did not get my Wii U on day one.
Of course. Somebody whose name is Nerdwire Plays. Listen to me. Fake Nintendo Mario fan.
Fake fan over here. I got it because Mario Maker was coming out. But I didn't get a lot of consoles.
All right, that tracks.
I didn't get a lot of consoles day one back in the day because A, they were expensive, and B, I didn't have a whole lot of extra money to really invest in Nintendo gaming consoles as much as I wanted to. So I had to kind of wait till they were on a good sale, or maybe pick them up in a bundle that I really, really wanted. The Nintendo Switch was the only console I've ever gotten on day one, like on a launch day. And that I felt super blessed at the time to be able to get that, but I got to be completely honest, like I was still super poor. I've talked about on the show, like I left with a Switch and snipper clips on day one, and that's it, because I couldn't afford to like upgrade to getting Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and boy howdy was that a mistake, because like 2 weeks later I was dropping another $60 anyway. Snipper clips is good, but it's no Breath of the Wild good.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Wii U, I mean, it does hold a special place in my heart. I loved Splatoon. I really, really liked Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U on it. I love the heck out of Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's one of my other ones that I'm like, yeah, this is a good game. I'm trying to think of all the games that I really genuinely loved. The problem is that console had so few games comparatively. I thought about making this thumbnail. We don't have games, but with the like Wii U Blue instead of the Nintendo Switch Red with the We Have games like meme. But you know, I gotta be honest, like there wasn't a whole lot on there, but the stuff that was on there really had a whole lot of heart, and I feel like did really well with the people who actually had adopted that console. So we do need to look at some of these titles, but before I dive in, what's your top 3 Wii U titles, and then I'll give you mine.
My top 3?
Yeah, your top 3 Wii U titles.
I mean, Zombie U.
Okay.
That's not number 1.
That's not number 1?
No, that is not number 1.
Zombie U is good though. I'll give you that.
Yeah. All right. So in terms of my top 3, I'm gonna have to go with
Zombie U got a 77.
Yeah, I really did like Super Mario 3D World.
Mm-hmm.
And then one game I really loved until this is not helping. All right.
Until they released it on the Switch.
No, until the final boss was Pikmin 3. It probably would have been there, except I absolutely hated the final boss.
It's kind of how I felt about Sekiro by the time I finished that. I know that's not a Nintendo game, but I'm with you. I understand.
But yeah, it's got to be Splatoon is number 1 for me. And then I guess I can't really say Breath of the Wild because I didn't play it on the Wii U.
Right.
You know, but the I can't remember. There's a game that I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Give me a description. Fill me in. What's the game? What could it be?
So Mario 3D World, Splatoon, and then I guess it's got to be
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah. Well, I really like the Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, yes.
And then you said my top 3, but I'm giving you a 4th because I love this game and no one gives it enough credit, and that is Star Fox. I can't.
Are you about to say Zero?
No, I'm not.
Okay, Star Fox Guard then, right?
Star Fox Guard.
Okay, the tower defense
Flippy's
one.
uncle. Yeah.
I think here's the thing. That game. So I was working at GameStop at the time when that game came out, and so that game, people came in to get Star Fox Zero specifically for Star Fox Guard. They did not want to play Star Fox Zero, but you bought the bundle and you got Star Fox Guard, and that was the only way to get it at the time. And so eventually, that game, the bundle itself, what GameStop does from time to time is they do penny outs, right? So like they make a copy of a game 1 penny, and they expect you to put it into a system that is called Field Destroy, in which you destroy the games. But the instructions were to split up Star Fox Zero from the Star Fox Guard inside of the box, and turn the Star Fox Guard to a pre-owned SKU, and we sold Star Fox Guard for $5 a pop, and I sold so many copies of just Star Fox Guard because that game is genuinely good. I'm with you. If I were going to give my top 3 plus an honorary mention, I'm with you. Number 1, Splatoon is absolutely a phenomenal Wii U game. Xenoblade Chronicles X is my number 2 game, mainly because of how beautiful and how vast and how big that game was. Like, it kind of blew me away at just how amazingly awesome that console could be. And honestly, I would argue that Xenoblade Chronicles X in some cases looks better than a lot of Nintendo games released today for the Nintendo Switch. But that, I know, lay gasp. But and then the third game that I'm going to list on here is a game that we'll never see on the Nintendo Switch, and I've been a huge advocate for it, and that's Nintendo Land. It was a phenomenal party game. It was an asymmetrical party game where one player could hold the tablet and other players had to interact, and we had party nights at my apartment. Before we had kids and before we owned a house and before we had problems that were real life adult issues, like we would have parties at our house just playing Nintendo Land. And there was the Animal Crossing game where you had to eat candy in there, and then you wanted to make sure that you got the candy out of the person that was eating the candy and get captured. Like, it was so good. The single player mini games in that game were phenomenal. And then my fourth honorary mention legitimately is Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U on that console was so cool. It was like the introduction of DLC characters that you just never expected to see within the game. It was so freaking cool to see that hype start to build for what they were going to do in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I had a phenomenal time with Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and the sales of the amiibos just skyrocketed that like love for that franchise into the Wii U for me. So like that's my top 3 with an honorary mention of my fourth. So I'm 100% with you. I think you had some good picks. I think my picks were better, but hey.
Actually, yeah, you're right, because I take back the 3D World can kick rocks.
I like 3D World a lot. It's a top 5 Nintendo Mario game for me. But
it's got to be Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is another good one. I remember getting that one on sale through the eShop or whatever it was called back then. I guess it was still eShop. It's been so long since I've had it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would say Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is another good one. That'd be a number 5 for me though. I didn't finish it on the Wii U. I finished it on the Switch when it came out with Funky Mode. But we're looking at the Wii U's 2016 video games that came out. And we want to kind of compare and contrast this with the Nintendo Switch's 2024 games that are coming out, or that have came out and that are still coming out. And I wanted to kind of see what was the quality difference. What did we go backwards, or did we move forward? With every new console, we're sold on the idea that what we're paying for is going to be better than the last thing that we were on, and in many cases, I would argue still yet that the support for the Nintendo Switch compared to the support for the Wii U has been 1000% better. There are so many video game experiences that you can have on the Nintendo Switch that you could not have back on the Wii U. But we want to talk about Nintendo specifically and what they put out for each of those consoles. So I'm going to kind of go by this list, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Wii U catalog and see how we personally felt about it, and then also look at how Metacritic felt about it. So the first game for Wii U's 2016, this is one of the final years of titles directly from Nintendo for the Nintendo Wii U, was Bayonetta 2 in February. Did you play Bayonetta 2, Chris? How did you feel about Bayonetta 2? Was it a good game for you? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I enjoyed Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 is a game that I thoroughly enjoyed. I played it quite a bit. This was 2016. I'm trying to think. Not a great year for me. I got cancer that year, and so
What? I didn't know you suffered from that. Holy cow.
well, it's gone. It's neither here nor there.
Okay.
But anyway, so
just
that's
casually.
that's
just
not the point of the story.
Just a little casual cancer, you know. here's what I got that year in 2016.
Yeah. So, but other than that, Bayonetta 2 was pretty good. But yeah, so played but I had this like nice chair that I sat in, and then I would just play Bayonetta on the screen because my boys would always want to be like, "Oh, what are you playing?" And I didn't want to play Bayonetta on the TV, so I played it on the gamepad. But yeah, I played it quite a bit. Beat it, liked it. I think I might like 2 more than 1. I was really enjoying 3, playing through that, and then what happened? I stopped playing, but I wanted to keep
that's
going,
normal for you.
Yeah,
that's not uncommon for Super Nintendo. You know, Bayonetta 2, I hadn't played any of the Bayonetta games until the Switch re-releases. You know, being full honesty. But once I played through Bayonetta 2, I can totally see why this game was the hit that it was back when it released on the Wii U. And I could totally see why Nintendo put some money behind that. That game is a phenomenal, just like beat 'em up, like has such good style, slick animations, great battle, rewarding like battle system in it, and how you're interacting with everyone and everything around you and trying to defeat the enemies and doing heel kicks and everything else. And the story was just really, really cool. But yeah, no, like I'm 100% with you. I think that game was phenomenal, and it was a good kickoff for the year for the Wii U. Being the first game in 2016 for the Wii U, being a 91 on Metacritic, which I mean the score stands to say, hey, no, this is absolutely a phenomenal score. Second game that came out, this came out in March, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. I'm just going to kind of give you my thoughts on Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. I think it is a good game. I think there are a lot of people who maybe did not enjoy Twilight Princess at the time for what it was, but at the same time still wanted to push forward with a more mature style Link. But I really genuinely love Twilight Princess, and Twilight Princess HD is a good bump up in quality for Zelda just in general. Like it is a good bump up in quality for that specific Zelda. The whole reason I even wanted that game was because I wanted to experience the dungeons with the amiibo, and I thought it was really, really cool. But you know, Chris, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I got it when I got I first got it when I got the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
I never played another one where I never played the previous gen version. Never played it on the GameCube.
The GameCube was the version I played, and I would argue that the GameCube version is a better version than the Wii version because it sacrifices a lot of the motion controls, which was a little bit nonsense in that game.
Well, yeah, and it's got left-hand Link, the proper Link.
The canonical Link.
Yeah. But yeah, so I enjoyed that. I think my favorite part of that game coming to the Wii U is the fact that it came with Wolf Amiibo, and then that I still think it's one of my favorite my favorite uses. Maybe we'll have an episode of our favorite amiibo, but it was one of my favorite uses of the amiibo, where based on how many hearts you have in Twilight Princess, that's how many hearts that wolf would have if you scan the amiibo in Breath of the Wild.
Yep, it was so sick.
It was marvelous.
It was a good combo. I will tell you, Metacritic liked that game too. It got an 86. But again, this is another remake of an already phenomenal game, right? So I'm not necessarily surprised by the score. I think it improved on just about everything that you would want improved on from the original release of it. So, then we had Pokken Tournament, which was like Nintendo's answer to Tekken in some ways. I don't necessarily agree with that take. I didn't really care for Pokken Tournament. I played a little bit of it, didn't really care for it. Would prefer it not to be a thing that Nintendo as a company focused on. But hey, we got that, and then we got the DX version of that game as well on the Nintendo Switch a little bit later. I'm just gonna put this out there. Metacritic gave it a 76. I don't know that score is deserved. That's just gonna be my personal opinion. How do you feel, Chris?
Yeah, I wonder how much of that was just because it was like the first time seeing these Pokemon in like a Tekken-like fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really enjoy the game that much.
No.
But I still got the sequel on those with, the amiibo card on the Switch.
What was the amiibo card that came with it? It was Mewtwo, wasn't it? If I'm remembering correctly.
Dark Mewtwo, yeah.
I had so many people that just wanted to buy Pokken Tournament when I was working at GameStop for that amiibo card, and then try to return the game. And I'm like, no, you opened it. It's yours now. Enjoy. I had to follow policy back then.
I think no, I just opened it, got the card,
and traded it in immediately.
And then got eShop credit, and then got the digital.
That poor game.
Yeah.
But no, I got a 76. Then we get to one of your top 3 games here, Star Fox Guard. And I think it has a like a worse score than it probably deserves. This is one of those cases where I would like to see this score higher. Metacritic gave it a 74. I would personally give that one probably like an 82. It's not massive, but it's a good tower defense style video game. I don't think it deserves a 74, but that's just my own personal opinion. Star Fox Guard was good. You've already kind of told the people why you loved it, but what score would you give it?
Star Fox Guard, 9.5.
9.5. That's high praise.
Not that much.
Holy cow!
I think it's just because I really like tower defense games,
mm-hmm.
and it also kind of like.
May I interest you in balloons? Balloons. Oh man.
Well, and it helps that it was Star Fox.
Yeah, it was Nintendo themed. Like it was Nintendo. Like really, really putting some effort into that. They put in a lot of, because we're going to get into Star Fox Zero, because it obviously released the same date. It was a bundle pack. Star Fox Zero got a 69 from Metacritic. If you look at the combo together, you average those two scores out. What is that? Like a 72, 70, 71, somewhere in that ballpark. I think looking at them as a combo, you can't really do that. You've got to separate them. But like I'm with you that I think it deserves a higher score. Maybe not a 9.5 for me, but definitely, yeah. Like I said, like a 82, 81, somewhere in that ballpark. Zero though, I think is rated even higher than it probably should be. It got a 69, like I mentioned. Nice, right? But Star Fox Zero, I cannot explain what I hated about it other than the fact that I did not like having to use the tablet to do all the shooty face stuff. Just like, why do I understand you've got this tablet and you want to do a gimmick, but like that tablet, first off, it's big. It's not a Wiimote, dude. Like I don't want to be lifting that up above my face and aiming it around. Let me look around with a right stick.
Yep, I think both the Wii U and then the 3DS, and even the Wii, Nintendo systems in general, they have that thing where they're like, we just got to use what we have here. At
least once.
Yeah. Like some of my favorite games one of my favorite games on the 3DS was Kid Icarus Uprising,
Mm-hmm.
but even still, I just wanted the duals, like the when they had that second Circle Pad Pro. Um, I just wanted to be able to use both circle pads, and they never had that option.
No.
Um,
Well, it was touch
and
screen. It was touch screen and
they had
circle
left
pad.
hand and right hand. Yeah.
Yep. You used the touch screen to aim and your circle pad to move around, and it was just not
And
good.
the only reason I played it so much is because I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Liked playing the game so much.
The game itself
yeah.
is good, but the control scheme sucked. Like, it was, but I don't think the same can be said for Star Fox Zero. I don't think the game itself is good, and I also think that the control scheme sucked.
Yeah. I can't really say. I feel like I was fighting with the controls so much that I just. Plus, when I sit down to play a game, I just want to relax.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I don't want it to be some sort of big event like I say that, but I will play
Give me God of War.
Wii Sports.
That's true, but Wii Sports is different. It hits different. It doesn't hurt to play unless you're playing it for hours and hours and hours. Like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
Then we got a real home run in the next video game that came out in June. Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. I mean, RIP that franchise, but like at the same time, like I don't know if we necessarily needed it. It was cool seeing all of those characters mashed up in one title. Finally getting the showdown that everybody talked about, even though it could be done better on Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. But like, it's just one of those titles. I never really bought any of them. They felt like shovelware in a lot of ways. I mean, it's sports themed mini games, and I mean that's fine. It's fine. But if I want mini games, I'm gonna go play. Like I said, I'm gonna go play Nintendo Land, or maybe I'll play Mario Party 10. Whatever. I think 10 was the one that came out for the Wii U. That game got a 65. I think it deserves its score, maybe even less than what it is, but that's just my personal opinion. That's a rough game. Do you have anything to add to Mario and Sonic? I just don't know what we would talk about with that title.
What, Mario and Sonic? No, it was it's one of those games that even coming out every 2 years felt a bit too soon.
Yeah.
So I would usually pick it up every 4.
Oh, you'd only do the summer ones, huh?
Yeah, because I think I did one summer, one winter, and then that was enough. But then I think I do, of course, have the one on the Switch.
Yeah. I think that was Tokyo, correct? The one on the Nintendo Switch. So I mean, it's okay. Like, it's just that's the thing is like those games are shovelware, sports themed mini games. I think we're gonna get into a game that I don't know that you would have touched. I could be wrong. But this was the June release for Wii U on 2016. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. Did you play any of this one?
Yes, of course.
Really? Okay. So I played very little of this one, mainly because it's a rhythm game. And while I do have rhythm, I'm really bad at rhythm games. But the thing that really drew me to it is that it was like Persona rhythm game mixed with Fire Emblem, which kind of threw me off massively about what I was jumping into with that game. The box art for it looked cool. Everything about it was really cool, but I was just really bad at it.
Yeah.
You tell me your experience. I told you mine.
Yeah. Well, I was like so excited to see what it was that they were going to do leading up to it, because they announced that it was happening and then didn't say what it would be. And then finally it came out, and I will say it has a lot of talking.
Well, yeah. And we all know how you feel about cutscenes and reading.
Cutscenes and reading, two of my least favorite things. But I will make an exception. I've been playing slowly, making my way through Persona 5. And I played all of the Fire Emblem, 3 houses, like 3 times. So I enjoyed that. And then this one, I didn't play it all the way through, but I did stick with it for about 8 or 9 hours. And then of course there's the famous, not famous, but the way that I played through Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I don't know. Did I talk about that on here already?
I don't think you have. But that game
did I
has a
tell
lot
you
of
about
bad
it?
Australian accent talking. You didn't tell me about anything with Xenoblade
Okay.
Chronicles 3. What was wrong with
Xenoblade
it?
Chronicles 3.
Hold on. Are you
It-
talking about Torna, the Golden Country, or whatever it is, or are you talking
No,
about the
Xenoblade
base game?
Chronicles 3, the base game, yeah. So I loaded up a like a full video of all the cutscenes, right? And I would have that on, and then have it paused. This was I had what's it called at the time. Well, I still have it, but the YouTube Premium,
Mhm.
so I didn't have to worry about ads, and I would skip the cutscene I was on, right? Skip it, and then watch the cutscene on my second monitor on the computer. So I'd have the cutscene going while I was just like grinding and doing side quests.
So you're telling me that the whole the only way you experienced the story was second screen experience?
Yeah, so I would skip the cutscene. It was
Oh my god.
it was a little confusing when it was a nice cheerful scene one time, and then all of a sudden we were fighting like a boss that I was like, I'm not going to say what it was for spoilers, but I was like, what is happening here? So I was like, maybe I'll take a break from the game, eat something while I watch that cutscene, and that's what I did. And then I played the boss, and then I just kept playing like that.
Can I ask you why why even play a video game like that at that point? That's so funny. How do you feel? Okay, I know we're doing Nintendo stuff, and we're gonna go off on a rabbit trail here. How do you feel about Death Stranding? Hideo Kojima's PlayStation masterpiece, Death Stranding.
It's very weird.
Did you watch the cutscenes for that?
Yeah, well, I did the same thing where I'd skip it.
Oh my
And,
god.
here's the thing, I do that with
There's
a
like
lot
14
of games.
hours of cutscenes in that. It's like a whole movie.
Yeah, well, the problem is some games are good about skipping cuts. So at first I didn't do this where I would watch the videos to see what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to, I think it was like Kingdom Hearts, and let me tell you, they're terrible about.
Oh, that
pushing
game
you-
doesn't make any sense, period, even if you watch the
Well,
cutscenes. So
No, I'm saying they're terrible at showing you where to go next.
Oh, that's also fair.
They tell you in the cutscene, or the text, which I'm not reading, and then they just expect you to know. Like there's no HUD or anything on there for the first one. So that was the first game where I would skip the cutscenes and then watch them on.
I mean, this is a smart way to do it. If you really want to min-max your time and not get stuck watching a cutscene so you can actually get through the game, I'm with
Yeah.
you. But man, holy cow.
The problem was by the time I got to the end of the game, I was like 95 or something. I was like almost maxed out. I was overpowered on everything, but I did it. I beat that game.
That's impressive. That's so impressive. Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE got an 80 from Metacritic.
Oh yeah, so that one.
Yeah, back to topic. Back to the topic. And then for the October release, so you notice there was nothing in July or August for the Wii U. There was big gaps here. I mean, it was nothing in January, February, March, April, nothing in May, June, nothing in July or August. Then October rolls around and we get Paper Mario Color Splash. And this one's been beguiled by plenty of people. I don't want to, I've kind of said my piece about it, that I think Paper Mario Color Splash deserves a better score than it's gotten. And I think it is a better game than most people would give it credit for. But it got a 76. And I think I already know your opinion on Color Splash. You said it was trash, so we're not gonna stick around on that. But
Yeah, it's right up there with Echoes of Wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah, right up there with
Uncle
Echoes of Wisdom, you fart face. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So there was a October, November, December, January, February, a 5-month gap before Nintendo put out a new game for the Wii U. And obviously they were in preparation for the Nintendo Switch at this point. And this is their bridge title. It was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. March. And I know we've tried to limit it to 2016, but I felt like 2017 was really kind of like the nail in the coffin for that console, and it deserved having discounted. We got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it scored a 96. Now, to put that into perspective, the Nintendo Switch version got a 97. So, there's so much to say about Breath of the Wild, about how great that game is and how amazing it plays, and all of the other stuff that kind of like was revolutionary. But I will say the Wii U version of that title is not the best way to play that game, very clearly. Like, you should probably play that on the Nintendo Switch. I think it's if you don't have a Nintendo Switch and all you have is a Wii U, it's worth it to like jump into it there. And most people who did not have the opportunity to get a Switch got it on the Wii U. I sold a lot of Wii U copies. And even to this day, not that we support piracy or anything like that, or emulation, but, you know, even to this day, the Wii U version is the version that you would do a ROM hack of and have the HD textures on and have the performance optimized on. So, like, there was a lot of room for that game to grow and look really good and have a very good experience with, and it virtually is the same experience across both consoles. And I can totally see why this game got a 96. It is a phenomenal game. And it was a very good swan song for Nintendo to go out on with the Wii U. Yeah, I'm assuming you did not play the Wii U version of this game, correct?
I did not play the Wii. I considered it, but never got around to it.
Okay, I get it. There's not really any good reason to. I mean, it's the same experience. There's a little bit of frame rate dippery going on in the game to try to keep it optimized for both consoles.
Glad they kept that in on the Switch version.
Yeah, but it's worse on the Wii U. It is worse on the Wii U. But those were that was the final year for the Wii U in 2016 going into 2017. I mean, a total of 9 games, 8 games in 2016, and then one more to kind of say, hey, we're done with the Wii U. Move on to the Switch.
Right. Yeah, because that was it, right, for them?
Yeah, that was it. They didn't come out with another game directly produced by Nintendo for the Wii U.
But they still were making 3DS games until 2019, which is kind of wild.
They were. And I do want to talk about a few of those from the 2016 era in a little bit. We're going to kind of save that for later because I think it is important to kind of separate these out because, like, most people would argue that the Switch is their home console, you know. They wouldn't say it replaced their 3DS in quite the same sense that it replaced the Wii U.
I would not say that. No.
Yeah. So the Wii U 2016 average Metacritic score for the games that came out on this console was a 79.2. Now, I think we're going to probably have to say there's an argument to be said. Did the quality go up or down once we get finished up with the Switch launch or the Switch final year here? But when we look at what came out from Nintendo, they had one remake that year. Everything else was an original idea. Bayonetta 2, Pokken Tournament, Star Fox Garden Zero, Mario and Sonic Rio Olympic Games, even though it's a sequelized, it's not a remake. Tokyo Mirage Session, Sharp FE, Paper Mario Color Splash, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. All of those games are original ideas. The only remake that we got that year was Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. So I will give it to Nintendo then, because what we're going to find here in the final year of the Nintendo Switch is that half of it is a freaking remake or a remaster in some way. So we're going to talk about Switch 2024. Another Code Recollection kicked off our year in January with a Metacritic score of 73. I skipped this game. I had zero interest in the visual novel aspect of it. I've had a few people still try to recommend it to me, but it's just not the kind of thing that I'm necessarily wanting to jump into. I know that game would not necessarily be for me, but I honestly don't know that you've even played that one. Maybe I'm wrong. Have you touched that one? Maybe a demo. I think they had a demo for it, did they not?
The demo was the first 3 chapters. I had that, and then just like the cutscenes in Xenoblade, I just watched someone play through all of the game.
Just like the cutscenes in Xenoblade. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to the score on that one. 73 makes a complete and total sense for me. Just as it's a very niche title with a very niche appeal, you know. Then we go into
published.
Yeah, Nintendo published niche title. Was it M-rated? Another Code Recollection?
Nope, I'm thinking of something else.
You're thinking of Emio, aren't you?
I thought we were talking about Emio for a second.
That's later.
And, but yeah, so another Code, I liked the DS version a lot more, like the motion controls for the puzzles. Did you play the demo?
I did not play any of the demo for this one. For another Code, right? Are we still on another Code, or are we talking about Emio now? I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah, no, another Code.
No, I did not play the demo for this one.
There's like puzzles in it that, you know, were on the touch screen that you would like move stuff around. Shout out to the DS, but you would move the stuff around, and then here you kind of just moved it around with the motion controls.
I mean, it was DS games that they ported here, right? The original two, both released for DS handheld console.
DS and then the other
and the
one
Wii.
Yeah. But it only came out in Europe. Yeah, but didn't come out here. But yeah, this is a game that I didn't get, but I would. I think there was something else coming out in January that I wanted.
I mean, it wasn't Nintendo stuff. I'll tell you that much.
It was not that. Yeah.
You know, overall, the critical reception for this game, because again, I didn't play any of this one. It got mixed or average reviews. Video Games Chronicle says, while it lasts, another Code Recollection is a beautiful adventure game with a touching storyline that only goes to remind us why Sing's closure all those years ago remains such a loss. But Metro UK said they praised the visuals and the artwork, but stated they felt the script and the puzzles were weak. And I mean, it's like, that's just one of those things where I'm just not, it just wasn't the thing that I necessarily wanted to play in January, you know? Another Code got skipped. Then we had Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the remake of the GBA game, $10 more expensive. $10 more expensive than the original release of it for the GBA. And I will tell you, our review here on this channel was not exactly favorable. I was pretty furious that they would charge as much as they did for as little as they did. And what I mean by that is that the game was pretty much carbon copied, save for the extra world that they added into the game and the extra difficulty and the ability to do two-player puzzles. The two-player puzzles, it wasn't even like special puzzles. You had your second player come on and it was okay. Like, it was just an additional thing, but it didn't really affect the game in any way. I was just pretty frustrated with also the length of the game. It was a 7-hour game that they charged $50 for, that I would pay $50 for 7-hour games that were of higher quality every day and not complain. But that game was just not what it should have been, I didn't feel. And I think I gave that game either a 6 or a 7. I think I gave that game either a 6 or a 7 whenever it released, because I was kind of furious about what they charged for it. So
yeah, and also it should be noted that the Game Boy Advance games published by Nintendo were $29.99 at launch.
Yeah, $20 more expensive actually. Now that you mention it, yeah,
$20 more. Yeah,
I totally forgotten that. Well, if you're accounting for inflation though. $10 more than what it was back then, if you count for inflation. But I was pretty disappointed. The game got a 76 on Metacritic. I think that's a fair score. It might be a little bit more nice than I was about it. How do you feel, Chris? Did you enjoy that game? Did you like it? Did you even check it out?
Another one where I played the demo more than enough. I played it on GBA. Didn't feel like I liked the way the animation looked nice, but outside of that, I didn't feel like going back through the puzzles. Even with the new sections,
right?
The puzzles. I just watched someone play those.
Yep.
Much like Xenoblade.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you. Mario vs. Donkey Kong 76. A weak start, and it is another remake. So 2 remakes to kick off this year. Then we get to the first original title that Switch released and it's another mediocre title that I just did not care for, and this was Princess Peach Showtime. And it had nothing to do with the fact that like the game starred Princess Peach, or that it had everything to do with the fact that they did not put any time into creating a game. They did not put any time into creating a game that I think necessarily deserved being the actual first like real game that we came out with this year. It just was, I don't know. Like Princess Peach Showtime could have been phenomenal. And there was a lot of questions leading up to its release, like, what is this game? What are we getting? What is it going to look like? And what is it going to play like? Because it seemed like it was so many different genres all the way mixed in, and no one could really tell you what that game truly was. And at the end of the day, it was multiple genres mixed into one game. But the thing that kind of kicked me off of really disliking that game is the pacing. Especially like once I did the detective story, that grinded the game to a halt. Overall, just like a half-baked girl game. And I don't like that it was a half-baked girl game. I want fully baked girl games that you don't need to put that title on everything. You don't need to put that title on everything. It doesn't have to be a girl game. It can be any game. Like anyone can like this game. And unfortunately, Princess Peach Showtime just did not scratch any kind of itch for me in any good way.
Well, yeah.
There's my tirade. That's the one that I'm most frustrated with this year. So
I don't see anyone talking about this at the end of the year when it comes to Game of the Year. It kind of reminded me of like just the movies that seem like games that, you know, like when they had a movie tie-in and it seemed like the idea of the game was really good, like they could have something here, but they had to rush it out to get it out in time for the movie.
Yeah.
And so it just wasn't as polished as it could have been, and that's sort of what this felt like. Like there was a bunch of half-baked ideas here that could have been good, but then instead they were just kind of the same thing over and over again, and you kind of knew what you were getting when you got to each level. And I never want to play that game again.
Suzish in the live chat, I've decided they need to remake Hey You Pikachu on the Switch too. I'm 1000% behind that. It's supposed to have a mic. It's rumored to have a mic. Yeah. But no, like on what you just said, right? There we go. On what you just said there is like, it did feel like it was rushed out to kind of tie into the fact that we had a Mario movie that just released. Like it just is one of those things that it's like, they really wanted Princess Peach to kind of take a spotlight and be the strong, the strong boss babe that she was. And I don't feel like they necessarily empowered her, because a lot of the stuff was just very like, this is girly girl kind of action. They didn't make her strong. They didn't make her powerful. They made her a princess, a Barbie that you could play with in a game. And I mean, that's fine. That some women are like that. Some women are going to be Barbies. Some women are going to be warriors. Some women are going to be politicians. Some women are going to be musicians. Some women are going to be regular, average, everyday women that you know that are strong. But I don't feel like they did that with Princess Peach Showtime. And I think that 74 may be a little harsh, but I think it is deserved for that game. Endless Ocean Luminous.
Some women are cats. That's true.
Some women are cats. Absolutely. Some women are cats.
Mario 3D World. It could be yours.
Some women have frame rate issues. It's one of those things too. Have frame rate issues in Princess Peach Showtime. That game was plagued by it. It was poorly made. Like when the loading screen was happening, holy cow, it slowed to like 2 frames a second. But Endless Ocean Luminous was May. So we skipped April, jumped straight to May. Endless Ocean Luminous came out. I think we as a show, we gave it a 70 something. I had Emperor Gambessa on from the live chat. They are super into aquatic marine animals and really knowledgeable. Enjoyed the previous 2 titles in that franchise. And I was curious about their take on Endless Ocean because I wasn't even able to find a copy of it for sale at any store. I couldn't just go buy it. I buy physical media right now. Switching to digital for life next Nintendo console. But I think we gave it a 70 something. If I'm remembering right, maybe a 73 as a show with Emperor Gambessa's experience and review of that game. And I will tell you, Metacritic gave it a 60. And I think the vast majority of people who maybe weren't in love with that franchise did not care for that game so much. And maybe they weren't also into the aquatic marine animal life forms. That game, I really wanted it to be a tech demo for what the Switch 2 could do. That's really what I wanted that game to be because it had all of the makings to really show off what the Switch 2 could do by animating water and showing off all of the creatures and doing it in amazing detail. And instead, we got it on the Switch 1 and it was kind of empty. So, 60 I think is probably fair for that game for the vast majority of people. I know you probably tried the demo but didn't actually try the full game either, Chris.
This one, I don't think it had a demo.
Oh, you didn't even try it then.
Yeah, so I did not try it. I just watched people play it.
Don't blame you.
That was more than enough.
Don't blame you. I endorse our review at a 70. 73. But I myself cannot speak to it. Emperor Gambessa someday, maybe when we get to the Game of the Year for Nintendo, our Nintendo Game of the Year awards at the end of the year, we'll just have you come on and make a case for Endless Ocean.
My friend got it, and I told her, Mel. Shout out to Mel.
Shout out Mel. Mel needs a name, and Mel needed a game, and that was a bad choice for game.
She needed a game. She got this one. And I told her if she enjoyed it enough that we could play together, I would get it. And she got it and was like...
And you didn't buy it? What a bad friend. Oh, okay. Huh? Never mind.
No.
She didn't need you to buy it. I understand now.
Yeah, she was letting me know. I said if you did enjoy it, I'll get it and we can play it together. But she did not enjoy it enough to play it together. So
okay.
Instead, we just played some whatever it's called.
Atomic Crops.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
Oh yeah, that was a good choice actually. I still like Nintendo Switch Sports. It's weaker than Wii Sports, but I still like it.
Yeah.
All right, so then we get into May, and this is a phenomenal game. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door released. That game got an 88 from Metacritic. I really like Thousand Year Door, but it is my favorite Paper Mario game by far. Really, really solid Paper Mario game, and it's one of my favorite RPG titles from Mario RPG as a genre. But Chris, how'd you feel about Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door? I know you picked that one up, right?
I did pick that one up.
It's the remake.
I really enjoyed it. Of course, dreadful. I know we were all devastated. I heard they canceled school for a couple of days when it came out because the game was only 30 FPS instead of 60, like the GameCube game.
Yeah, but I don't think that game necessarily needed to be any higher.
Devastated they were. Please show some respect.
People are so devastated.
But yeah, it's still really good. It was really good. Still is really good. I like the Paper Mario art style. I still think I was trying to think of, I'm gonna get a Mario tattoo, but I didn't know what kind. I'm thinking I'll probably get Paper Mario.
Should do it as a sticker, Paper Mario sticker star, as much as you love that game.
As much as I like that game, yeah, I did see a sticker star idea for a tattoo where it just kind of looks like a sticker on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that would be the best thing about the sticker star. But, I mean, I got a Splatoon tattoo. I guess it doesn't matter if I get a sticker star.
It'd be fine. It'd be totally fine. It'd be totally fine. I like that game. It got a 88 from Metacritic. I think that's Maybe a lower score than I would have given it, but that's just me personally because I do like RPGs and turn-based games. I think that's probably the thing that holds it off from being, a 90 anything is because most people, I wouldn't argue that most people love turn-based video games. So, but it was good. But again, it's a remake. Then we get to June. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Another remake. Or remaster, my apologies, not remake. A remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the 3DS. This game, I gotta be honest, I still didn't care too much for Luigi's Mansion 2. I didn't like it back when it released on the 3DS, and I think a lot of people didn't really love it. And I didn't really care for it releasing on the Switch. And it's not that it's bad, it's one of those games that I think it's the worst Luigi's Mansion in my opinion. 3-1-2 still yet in terms of my ranking, but take my opinion with a grain of salt, like Super Nintendo did until he played it and then he realized I was right. Scored a 77 on Metacritic.
I'm not willing to admit that.
That's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to admit that I'm right. We all chat knows. Both over on YouTube. If you think I'm right, YouTube, make sure you leave a like.
Dislike if you agree with me.
No, don't dislike us. Hold on. Oh man, but no. How did you feel about it? We already know you hated it.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. Going back to it, there are things that I enjoyed. I think maybe the reason I liked it so much was because of the glasses-free 3D.
But you didn't get that on Switch.
That's what I'm saying. So going back to it without that, it just didn't hit the same. Mm-hmm. I think now that I think about it, I might even want to play the Luigi's Mansion arcade game over Luigi's Mansion 2.
Oh my gosh.
So it might be
the arcade game's super fun though. Like
yeah.
It's an on-rails not shooter sucker. So
yeah, on-rails ghostly adventure.
Yep. No, I'm with you. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD 77. Do you think it deserves that score? Do you think it should have been lower?
77?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Because I did still enjoy the most of the game, like going around and you got the powers. I mean, there's no Gooigi, but still, I didn't like how the levels were broken up so much. I don't remember them being broken up as much as they were. Like, right as the level's getting good, they just bring you back, and then you have to go back again.
Did you know the 3DS version of this game got an 86 on Metacritic? Meanwhile, the Switch version got a 77?
Yeah, see, that's a good drop.
That
makes sense.
A crazy drop. That's 10-point difference. I would agree. I am tenderly in the live chat. Luigi is a good hummer. She's been running through it over on her stream, by the way. It's really good. It's really good.
Especially when you get scared.
You were made to play, Luigi. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Honestly, I was really excited for this game. And I feel like this game is made for a person like me who likes doing those speedrunning challenges, who enjoys a lot of the older retro-style 8-bit games. I still would like to see something along the lines of any Nintendo World Championships SNES Edition or Nintendo 64 Edition, whatever they want to do next. I would like to see that happening. But it got a 73 on Metacritic. And we covered that game. We both were pretty generally favorable with that game as far as that goes, right? Like, it was, I think we were both pretty favorable on that game. Even still, it wasn't going to be something that I think was going to rock the player base, and I don't think it's a perfect game for everybody. Like, it's not one that I'm going to recommend to everybody. So I think while the 73 is a little harsh, because they're still continuing to support it. Like, you're getting weekly challenges in it, still yet to this day since its release.
What are the weekly challenge? It's just rotating them, isn't it?
It is. So you compete to be
Yeah.
a Nintendo World Championship every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hogwash.
You're hogwash.
That game's hogwash. Here's what they need to do. They did, in my opinion, to here's the problem. This is another one of those things where they kind of like they have their budget in mind. They have what they want to release, and then they release it, and then they don't listen to the fans in terms of what they would like or want to have. They're just like, here's what you get. Like, it took 3 Splatoons to make it so we could, play together.
I mean, that's true. That is true.
They're just,
and I don't even think it was like that at the beginning. Like, they had to do that through an update.
no, yeah, it came later. Yeah. It was just not ideal. But yeah, so if they would have done some stuff, even like making it easier for you to play and compete and see your friends, while you're like doing it at the same time, we would have probably been playing it a lot more than we ended up playing it.
I would agree with that. Even doing the bonus episode, which, by the way, if you want to see our bonus episode, go support us over at NintendoRewind.com. Not a sponsor. No, it is totally a sponsor. It's us. We're sponsoring this episode. But setting that up to do like a competitive style mode without being in the same room wasn't an easy task. Like, we literally just gave each other a countdown and was like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. And then we start in on the same challenge at the same time. Like, they should have had the party mode that is in there available with online mode. Like, there's no reason they couldn't have done it. Nintendo put out Mario 35. If they can do Mario 35, why couldn't they have done a similar experience in Nintendo World Championships? And so
they already got the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Do you think a 73 is a fair score for it, though?
It's okay enough. I probably would, that's 73 is fine. I don't think it needs to be.
I would have argued for higher, but that's just me.
Nintendo.
August, we have Famicom Detective Club, Emio the Smiling Man. The marketing for this game was so cool. It was so cool. We were all like, what is it? What's it gonna be? It's the first Nintendo mature rated horror game. And then we got Famicom Detective Club. And
Joe after work, I was like, in his stream, he's like, I'm worried it's just gonna be that Famicom Detective Club
Joe
game.
after work, shout out to him, he was right. Oh man. We need to get that Taco Bell dong going on in here for him, like just in memory of Joe after work.
Yeah.
But it got a 74. It is again another niche game. It is one of those games where you have to be really into visual novels to really enjoy it. Game has cool story, has cool artwork. But man, is it a chore to play. Like, I played the demo and I did not enjoy the demo because it wants you to truly exhaust everything in terms of your options, like dialogue options, like exploration options, inspection options, questioning, everything before it will move you on, and it's not intuitive at all in terms of what you're doing. Like, it just I did not care for that game. I wanted to like it really, really badly. I wanted to like it, but it got a 74. I think that's a fair score. But Chris, Emio the Smiling Man, I know what you did. You liked the story, but you don't like doing talkie games, and that was exclusively a talkie game.
Yeah, I agree with you about like where it was almost like certain sections. It kind of reminded me of Metroid Other M, where it was, hear me out, where it became like a pixel finding game where you had to like find just the right pixel, just the right spot to click on for them to give you the interaction like that. You need to know where to click. They have all the options of what you can say. And then some of the stuff you have to do it twice, but there's no indication to do it again. It, like you said, just expected you to figure these things out. But yeah, like I said, during another code recollection. I really enjoyed the story for this one, and this is one I watched someone stream it and play it beginning to end, and I like the story.
That would be what I would probably recommend anybody do. Like, you're not going to get the gratification. Like, the game doesn't necessarily reward you, make you feel like you're smart in any way. Like, once you do figure out what you were supposed to do, it just kind of moves on.
Yeah. If you want to know if you're smart, just give me a call. I'll let you know
he'll tell you.
Yep.
So you're smart or you're dumb. If you want a call from Super Nintendo Dad, go leave us a voicemail. He'll tell you. Right live on stream. You're dumb. You're smart. Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. This is our most recent release. This was out this month, September. Not this month. It's October now. My gosh. The year's going by. Last month, we did a review for this. And if you guys haven't went and seen it, do me a favor, go over to our YouTube channel. Make sure you leave a like and a comment on that review. It blew up. It's our most watched video of all time. And I'm super stoked about that. And overall, Metacritic was pretty in line with what we reviewed Echoes of Wisdom at. We gave it an 84. Metacritic's given it a 85. And overall, I've really enjoyed that game. It is a good time. It is a good time. The one thing I hate about it, and we posted a short about it, I've complained about it quite a bit, is the UI in that game for having to pick what echo you're using is frustrating, and it feels very, very difficult to do the combat in it. Like I said before the game released, I was like, that game looks like it's not going to be fun to do the combat in. Chris, you said to me, actually, like when we were talking about it before we released the review video, you said to me, like when you were playing through it, you really did not, you were avoiding battle towards the end of the game. You're running past everything. I did the same thing, dude. Like I was like, I don't need to fight that unless I wanted the echo. Like I don't need to fight that.
I was playing it like a collecting game, and I was collecting the echoes. And so I was doing that, enjoyed collecting the echoes and seeing how many ways I can just use a bed to solve a puzzle. Another favorite part of my game.
Top 10 echoes of all time in Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Bed. All of them are just bed. But no, like that game. I think it's a really, really good addition. We have 3 games that are on the horizon, though, and they don't have scores, obviously. They haven't been released. The first one's Super Mario Party Jamboree. I'm excited for it. I don't know that I necessarily needed another Mario Party game on the Nintendo Switch, but I'll be picking it up. It's cool to have 20-person online multiplayer. Mario and Luigi Brothership, which was my most anticipated game the rest of this year. Like, from the moment I heard about it, it was the game I looked forward to the most. I was not even like super excited for Echoes of Wisdom, but I was so excited for Brothership. And then Donkey Kong Country Returns HD for January. So that's what we knew.
2 games without dates.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and there's no telling whether or not that's going to be a bridge title for the Switch, the Switch 2, like Breath of the Wild was. And what is the other title?
Pokemon Legends Pizza. ZA.
Pokemon Legends ZA. Z and A. Z through A. Which I expect to be a May title, to be completely honest at this point. But I was expecting March, but now I'm thinking May. So when we look at the average Metacritic ranking of the Switch for 2024, it got a 75.5. Let me put that in perspective. The Wii U, with the 9 titles that it had, got a 79.2 on average. The Nintendo Switch, with the 9 titles that we have with Metacritic scores, currently has a 75.5. Now, Mario Party Jamboree, Mario and Luigi Brothership, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, all of those have the potential to bring that score up. I think they will likely bring that score up. I think Mario Party Jamboree, Mario and Luigi Brothership, and Donkey Kong Country Returns HD will get better scores than a 75. But right now, what we have with this final year is 4 points lower than what we got out of the Wii U 7-8 years ago. Here's my question for you. Do you think that our standard for quality of game went down, or do you think that the actual quality of games went down? Because I can tell you, like, looking at the list for Wii U, I'm less impressed, even though it is more original titles, I'm less impressed with those titles overall than I am with the titles that came out on the Nintendo Switch for 2024.
Wait, so you're saying that you liked the ones on the Wii U more or less?
What I'm saying is I am more impressed with the Switch titles overall than the ones on the Wii U.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Would you agree with that take, or is that a hot take?
Well, I mean, if you're not counting, I'll give it to you if you count Breath of the Wild, but then
Breath of the Wild's like the only thing that blows me out of the water on that list of games, though.
Whatever Switch 2 launch title is.
Yeah, like if I were to look, if we count Breath of the Wild, and then if we want to say Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to be the Switch 2 launch title, I'm still so excited for that game. It may be a bridge title like Breath of the Wild is, but like I think that the Switch overall has it has more games, right? It has more games than the Wii U did, but B, I feel like they took more chances with the stuff that they were putting out, even though, yeah, Star Fox you're taking a big chance. But I mean, you have Bayonetta. That's a pretty big chance game. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD is a remake, but then you have a Pokemon style game with Pokken Tournament, and it's a totally different genre from what they're normally doing. Star Fox Zero, they were really banking on that. Mario and Sonic was shovelware. Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE was so different and strange and random, I didn't know exactly what we were going to be getting out of it. Paper Mario Color Splash, I mean, that game didn't do super well, but then you got Breath of the Wild, and that one's freaking amazing. Whereas the stuff that you have on what we have with the Switch is so varied and different all the way across the board. Everything's different, even though a lot of them are remakes, remasters. Like, they're still so different from each other.
Yeah. But I think it's the same, basically the same situation with both of them, where pretty much all of the games were made, like Paper Mario Color Splash and Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door were both made by the same team, right? And then a lot of the other stuff was all just other companies did it. Bayonetta 2, Twilight Princess, Pokken, Star Fox, Mario and Sonic, and then same thing with like the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is the same team that did Skyward Sword. The port of Skyward Sword did the port of that. A lot of these games here are all made by other companies too, including like Donkey Kong Country, and then Brothership. We don't know yet.
Right.
Stupid, but yeah, we don't know. But yeah, a lot of these, like, you can tell it's like the last year, as you know, the other teams are busy working on the next iteration, the next 3D Mario, the next 3D Zelda, the next Animal Crossing, the next everything.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Absolutely. Mario Kart 10, whenever that happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like games now are better than the ones that were on the Wii U. But I would definitely say that our critics are harsher today than they were then. That's what I'm going to probably say here, is that our critics are harsher today than they were then. And maybe that's, again, maybe that is a hot take. Mrs. Nerdwire is echoing kind of the same thoughts in the live chat there. I just think that's definitely the case. I think that's definitely the case.
And plus, it's been 7 years of so many games getting re-released and remasters that it's like people expect more out of them now.
Yeah.
With when they do come out, so they're going to be a little bit harsher on them.
I will say I am more on the train to say Nintendo was willing to do more original things with the Wii U than they were with the Switch, because again, they had one remake, the rest of them were like original titles. But at the same time, it's like, was that the best choice? You know, because when you look at the original titles that came out for the Switch, they all pretty much stumbled except for Echoes of Wisdom so far. The rest of them were definitely in like the 70s on a ranking, on a score. And we kind of went through it and we don't necessarily disagree with them almost on a 100% basis across the board. So I don't know. Live chat is currently voting right now. 100% of live chat is saying that games are better now compared to Wii U. So I don't think we can argue with the rest of them saying that. I think I don't know. It pains me to say this is what our final year of the Nintendo Switch looks like when we look at the last 7 years of the Nintendo Switch compared to the 4 or 5 years of the Wii U. So like we've had so much good come out, and it just feels like we're getting the bottom of the barrel scrapings in some ways. But that's just where I'm at. We did have 3DS average Metacritic on here, and a list of the games that released for the 3DS too, because Chris kind of said, hey, why don't we include that? And I think it's good to look at too, which kind of brings up another line of thought process here, because Nintendo, when the Switch came out, they ended up consolidating their like actual development houses into one single household. So you didn't have the two pillars where they're doing console titles, they're doing handheld titles. And so I'm just going to kind of go down this list really fast because we're running out of time. Mario & Luigi Paper Jam got a 76. Fire Emblem Fates Birthright got an 86. Fire Emblem Fates Conquest got an 87. Fire Emblem Fates Special Edition got an 88. Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games on the 3DS, mind you, it also came out on the Wii U. It got a 60 versus the Wii U 65. Hyrule Warriors Legends got a 70. Bravely Second Inlayer got an 81, which is a phenomenal game. Pokemon Rumble World got a 58. A surprise title in here I didn't know Nintendo did. Disney Art Academy with a 72. Kirby Planet Robobot with an 81. Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix with an 83. Metroid Prime Federation Force with a 64. Style Savvy Fashion Forward with a 78, which is so stupid that Style Savvy Fashion Forward got a better score than Pokemon Rumble World by a lot. Dragon Quest VII Fragments of the Forgotten Past with an 81. Yokai Watch 2 Bony Spirits and Fleshy Souls both with a 71. Disney's Magical World 2 with a 73. Mario Party Star Rush with a 68. Pokemon Sun and Moon both with 87s respectively. And then Super Mario Maker for the 3DS got a 73. They all had an average of a 76.2, which is also higher than the Nintendo Switch, and they released nearly double the games that got scored. And on top of that, there was another team that was working on the Wii U releases at the same time. So, here's the follow-up question to ask. And by the way, the poll for Are Games Better Now compared to the Wii U, 100% says yes. But those games within that final year of the Wii U's existence, and again, these are 2016 titles. I didn't want to jump too far into the future. I wanted to kind of compare it around the same time frame. There is like triple the games here compared to the Nintendo Switch. What happened to the game production? What if games are truly better now, right? If games are truly better now, and we can focus and create better experiences, but the average Metacritic score is less than the average on both the Wii U and the 3DS, why don't we have more games to kind of compare that score to? What happened to Nintendo? That's the final argument that I have for this.
Well, a lot of those games that you listed, and by a lot I mean like 8 of the DS games, 3DS games, were published by other companies in Japan, but then in order to bring them over to fill in those gaps, because we talked about those gaps that they had in the um, on the Wii U, and to fill those gaps in, they decided to publish those games over here in America, and then they published them here, brought them over, and helped fill in the gaps. But also with in terms of the 3DS, I mean, look, if you look at not only the 3DS games, but then the Wii U games, they're a lot of them are made by other companies, so they're still producing, I think, pretty much the same amount. They're just getting less.
But I mean, that's still the same case with the Nintendo Switch. I mean, another code recollection was Arc System Works. Princess Peach Showtime, that was Goodfeel? Or who was it? Mm-hmm. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, I forget who that was. Like, they had a bunch of different, like... Systems. Yes, thank you. They had a bunch of different people working on these games that they brought in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have that here as well. It's just that the companies that they have making games. I mean, if you think about it, they had Tears of the Kingdom. They had Breath of the Wild, which was just a port of the Wii U game, and then they had Breath of the Wild, and like that was all they had in the whole lifespan from that team, like the whole lifespan of the Switch.
That's true. That was their main focus for that.
Taking a lot longer to make these games, and you're seeing that too with, like what PlayStation 5 came out in when was that? 2000?
Yeah.
2020?
Yeah.
And there could be, they might end up going all of, they might go all of 2024.
Yeah.
Or not all
2025.
Of PS5, all of PS5 without a Naughty Dog game.
Yep.
From them.
Well, they already said they don't have anything on the itinerary from their direct development companies that they own. Nothing is getting worked on for 2 years, is what they had said originally. I don't know if that's still the case, but I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think about. So, you know, I want chat commenters, everybody to just kind of decide what you think was the better console for its final year, directly from Nintendo. If we look at Wii U, 3DS as a combo, I think there's argument to be made that, like, clearly those two powerhouses together really dominated the Nintendo Switch in its final year comparatively. But I would still say Switch has a better lineup overall, even though, like, I was left disappointed probably more often. More often than I was with the Wii U, and partly the big reason for that is, like, most of those I did not buy at launch. I experienced those later, you know, like on the Wii U. But I would still say I think the Switch has a better lineup. Where do you stand on it, Chris?
Yeah, I really enjoyed, you know, I liked Sun and Moon, and I liked Rhythm Heaven, Mega Mix, fantastic game. But in terms of, I think part of it is I just really like playing on the Nintendo Switch and being able to switch back and forth between the two without worrying. And so that's probably why I would take the Switch over the Switch that year. Part of me wants to say, yeah, I'm gonna say 3DS for me in terms of that year.
Not gonna choose. I'm with you. I think the 3DS really dominated both consoles. Like, it truly did. But we didn't actually take into account up to 2019 for the final actual year of the 3DS.
Yeah.
So was I roboting on you?
No, Robobot.
Oh yeah. Kirby
Yeah.
Planet Robobot.
My favorite 2D Kirby, probably.
It is really good. It is really good. We do have one more topic we kind of want to talk about before we move on. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Some thoughts. If you guys haven't taken a look at our review, and I've kind of talked a little bit about my opinions on it, but I wanted to kind of open it up to Chris to kind of share some of his thoughts on Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom before we move on to the Nintendo Fast Forward. Chris, how much time have you put into that game? Did you beat it? Did you like it? What are your thoughts?
I did beat it. I played it. Started playing some more. Like started over to try and like see if I could play it a little bit differently. But yeah, my thoughts are still the same. We talked about where I kind of appreciate it more for like being a bit of a puzzle game. My least favorite thing to do in that game was combat. It's still to the end. It was like I would play it and then use this sword fighter power. And then when that would run out, I'd be like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to just grab a stone or spam bats until they're dead. Just because I would like put out enemies and then wait for them to attack. And some of them were better than others at attacking right away. And then other ones you would just throw it out there. And like simple enemies, you would just throw it out there. And then they would both just kind of shake and get ready to jump at each other. And neither one did any damage. So then you got to throw another one. And then it was just a pain in the butt. But I ended up enjoying the game more than I thought I would. I started liking it a lot more, maybe a little bit halfway through, and then started to lose me, but then got me back by the end, and I enjoyed playing that. How about you?
I really enjoyed that game. I really, really enjoyed that game. Like I spent probably close to 26 to 28 hours on that game. I liked its open nature. I liked what they had going on with it in terms of you can kind of really choose the directions you want to go. I thought it was really cool because I was chatting with you when we were playing it before the review came out and asked you where to get the automatons because I was going into what I didn't know at the time was the final dungeon. And it was the final dungeon. And I still hadn't found the automatons, and you were like, you have to go and do side missions for those, and I was like, what? So I went back to go snag some automatons after I rolled credits just to be able to have an experience with them to be able to put into the review. Really, really loved that game. I had a good time with it. The UI aside, and the combat being what it was, like it is what it is. Like it's not necessarily my favorite Zelda experience. Let me be clear. It's not my favorite Zelda experience, but I think it's a very good experience that most anyone should probably go and check out still yet. It ranks up there. It's one of the better games this year. For Nintendo Switch. We gave it an 84 out of 100. Spoilers. But if you've watched this long, you deserve to know what we scored that at this point. But Chris, if you had to score it, because that was really my score, if you had to score it, what would you give it? Would you give it something similar?
Yeah, like an 81.
81. So you guys heard it here first. Go check out the review if you're curious about our thoughts even deeper. Have a good time with that. It was a pleasure to be able to get something really, really cool out for the people. But without any further ado, we got to get to the Nintendo Fast Forward. So we'll catch you right after this bumper. All right, Christopher, do you want to tell the people about the new games that are coming out?
It would be my honor. So we got a couple of games, including tomorrow, Wednesday, the 2nd, we got Kill Knight.
Is that tomorrow? I thought that was the 3rd. Oh, no, that is tomorrow. My apologies. I'm wrong. I put the 2nd on there.
I'm just going by
the notes. Yep, you're right. The notes were right, and you were right, and I was wrong in real life. So,
$14.99. Kill Knight is kind of like, I believe they called it something almost like Hades meets Diablo, sort of. Um, and it's kind of like a brutally murdering knight going around killing people. Believe it or not. But yeah,
Believe it or not, based on that title.
it's like a top-down game, sort of not quite twin stick, but like you can run around and shoot enemies. I can't remember. I played the Steam Next Fest demo. I can't remember if you could. It's almost like Vampire Survivors meets Hades meets Diablo, sort of. But yeah,
the game has a very cool aesthetic.
Yeah, I like the way it looks. But yeah, that is kill or be killed. Okay. And that comes out tomorrow. Go ahead, check that out. And then we also got Picross Records of the Shield Hero. There's a demo available. It's Picross. Shout out to Picross. Everyone loves it. That comes out the 3rd of October. If you're not sure if you like Picross, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Go ahead, get the demo. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm going to stop you. Don't get it. Just buy the game. $10.99.
Just buy it. Just please. What are you waiting for? And then the other game is Refined Self, the personality test, which I like the color palette for this and the look of it. Almost looks like a Game Boy Color game, sort of.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It looks cool.
The look of it. It is described as by a simple exploration-based adventure. This data science game analyzes your actions to estimate your personality. So you're gonna be talking. You're gonna look at your personality. You're gonna have hidden personalities. You're also gonna have like it's gonna be one of those things where based on like what you say and what you do, your pie chart will like expand and go from like there's like personality, morals, methods, judgment, and daring, and then it'll just spanned out and it'll be like, oh, you said this, so you gain these points towards that. But that is out. When is it out? You said
that is supposed to be out on the 3rd as well, but price is currently unknown, so they don't have a listing for it directly on the Nintendo eShop. I just know the date that this was supposed to come out was this. Now it looks like it may have been pushed all the way to March 10th, 2025, but that may be a regional date too. I genuinely don't know. It's unlisted on the eShop right now, but pay attention for it. Pricing and date apparently coming later.
It might, that might be just the date that they have, but yeah, that'll be out before you know it. And then we also have SpongeBob SquarePants: The Patrick Star Game. That's $39.99, and that is coming out October 4th. That is what if Goat Simulator, but instead of the goats, you're Patrick Star and running around Bikini Bottom. That's pretty much what that game is.
Goat Simulator an instrument?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot like that. That is out on the 4th. Yeah, that's $39.99. And then the final game we're going to talk about this week is Kingdom 2 Crowns: Call of Olympus. That is October 8th at $9.99. Do you have any affinity for the for those games, the Kingdom 2 Crowns?
I really liked the Kingdom whenever originally released, the first original one. And I haven't went back to play any of those others recently. Just because I mean it was one of those games. It's kind of like a city sim builder, but like 2D.
Yeah, you're kind of like building your base, and then
Yeah.
you got to like run back and forth and they
Defend everything. Tower
one
defense.
Takes place, yeah, the one takes place in the 80s where you're like kids on bikes.
Mhm.
I enjoyed that. And then one thing that you don't have on here because it got announced during the show was just F-Zero 99 got a new update. So
Ooh. Let's do a Google. Let's do a
new
Google.
league, Grand Prix Ace League, 5 new tracks, new machine decals, and expanded practice mode.
This is posted from Nintendo Everything right now. Let me go back over to this screen. Added 5 tracks: Mute City 4, Sandstorm 1, Big Blue 2, Sandstorm 2, and Silence 2 from the Ace League of the BS F-Zero Grand Prix game, which that was like downloadable content games before it was downloadable content. Distributed exclusively on the Super Famicom Satellite Broadcast Adapter, also known as Satellaview, my apologies, not Stellaview. Grand Prix Ace League also has been added. New tracks have been adjusted for F-Zero 99. Practice mode's been expanded so you can practice by unlocking the Ace League tracks. Grand Prix Ace League tab has been added to the leaderboard. Ace League track information has been added to tracks and under records in the workshop, which is such a minimal update, but I mean, it's welcome. If you complete the Grand Prix Ace League, you receive a decal with the motif of a BS F-Zero, and that's not bull. The F-Zero Grand Prix machine. That's a 1-year anniversary event will be held. A total of 12 anniversary badges, backdrops, borders, and emotes have been prepared. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And if you match at least one lucky rank updated daily, you can obtain one of the 1-year anniversary rewards. If you collect all 12, you unlock a bonus decal for each machine. It will be held for a limited time only. Ace League tracks will appear more frequently. 1-year anniversary rewards that could not be obtained during the event can be obtained from regular lucky ranks after the event ends, so no worries if you end up missing out on it. There's a whole lot of information here. I'm trying to hit the high stuff.
And then, yeah, also announced, but will not be out in time for next week, but it got announced, is just F-Zero Climax and F-Zero GP Legend coming out, the Game Boy Advance games.
On GBA Online?
On GBA Online, coming out October 11th.
When did they update that? Is that on their YouTube channel?
They updated 11 p.m.
Okay, I'm going to their YouTube channel right now. We're going to find out if they have it on there. That's cool. I don't care for the GBA F-Zeros. My favorite one still yet is F-Zero GX for the GameCube, but you know, I mean, it's still exciting to see something new happening, you know? Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. Let me pull this up and mute the gameplay, or mute the video itself. Here we go. 2 F-Zero games. F-Zero GP Legend, F-Zero Climax are racing on a Nintendo Switch Plus expansion pack. GP Legend. And obviously, I mean, it's story mode. Everybody likes story mode in F-Zero, right? It's your favorite mode.
That's why you play it, yeah.
Play it for the story. Don't skip any cutscenes. Make sure you read all the dialogue. And previously unreleased outside of Japan, that's why I didn't hear about this one. F-Zero Climax. I hadn't played that one. This one has a much better look than the GP Legend does.
Well, that one came out like a couple years later. It even has a track editor.
That's cool. October 11th. Yeah. We'll remind you guys next week. No worries. We'll remind you guys next week.
Yeah.
But
the thing that is a bummer is I guess, the October NSO update. It's just those 2 Game Boy games.
That is a little bit of a bummer. I want to see more from them. I do want to see more from them. That's unfortunate, man. Well, we're not going to end it on a bad note. We're going to end it on a good note. And that good note is you can catch all of our past episodes in video form over on YouTube at youtube.com/@the-Nintendo-Rewind. And visit our site for links to all of our social media pages at nintendorewind.com, and consider supporting the show through memberships on our site, where you'll get bonus content only available there. Chris, where can they find you, my good friend?
You find me on pretty much everything as Super Nintendo, posting YouTube stuff and streaming when my internet works properly. How about you?
You can find me over at Nerdwire Plays. You can go to my website and find all the things that I'm normally doing, which lately hasn't been a whole lot of streaming because I'm just so obsessed with freaking Fortnite. Although we are in spooky month, so I may have to start to crack out some Luigi's Mansion for the people. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe I'll go live on there. And if you want to join our Discord to keep up on the live updates from us directly through there, you can do so. Thank you guys so freaking much for watching. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Please remember to rewind and be kind and love your faces. And we'll catch you later. Bye!
No.